All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic as always, because in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the Yieldmax Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF. As always, Mr. TSLY, Mr. and Mrs. TSLY. So what we're doing is we're going to be talking about TSLY. We're going to talk about the dividend that I received from them. We're also going to be talking about where we think TSLY and Tesla is going to be over the next month and the dividend that they might pay us for the month of October. And you know what, at the same time, I also want to show you some facts about TSLY that, you know what, I'm a big believer in TSLY, but I think it might be a good idea to also look outside TSLY and maybe some of the other Yieldmax funds as well, just due to the fact that TSLY can present some challenges that we're going to go over in this video. So if that does sound good to you guys and you want to see what I got in my TSLY dividend, please do subscribe. You don't have to subscribe to obviously watch this video, but if you do subscribe, you'll probably likely see more of our videos, and I hope that you'd want to see that. You got 2,613 subscribers, so if you want to join our community, we got a lot of people on here already. Our last video is doing pretty good as always, so yeah, just a little plug on there. You don't have to subscribe, it's all up to you. So today we're talking about TSLY, and TSLY in the month of September, they actually paid out a 58-cent dividend. 59-cent dividend. This was declared on the 7th of September and paid out on the 18th, which was yesterday. Today is the 19th. So in my account, what did I get? I actually got here, if you want to see, I got 2 dividends. I'm starting to get these interesting dividend fluctuations where it's like, for example, Clip, I got 2. I got a $16 dividend and a $64 dividend. It totally equated to the amount that I should have received anyways. But as you can see here for TSLY, right here, I received a $31 dividend, and I also received a $22 dividend. Sure, I obviously got the tax deducted on both of those, but you can see here that it said one was for 38 shares and one was for 40 shares. So I think maybe when you get a lot of kind of like, how do you call it? When you get a lot of stocks in a particular stock or ETF, and they're paying a dividend, they might try to split it up just due to the amount if it might be too high. But that is just my kind of thought process around that and why I have 2 different dividends for the same one. So before we actually, you know what? No, let's what are we talking about before we do this? What I want to do here is actually calculate how much I received in dividends. So we got 31.63 right here. We're going to plug this into the calculator. 31.63. Okay, we missed 3 there. What's going on? 31.63 plus we have a 22.23. Let's put that into plus 22.23. Cool. So we got $53.86, but that's not all entirely true because we need to subtract this $4.74. Subtract 4.74. Okay, we are almost done. We just got to subtract this last one, which is $3.33. Just like that, $3.33. So in total, we actually received about $45.79 in dividends from TSLY, which is actually pretty good considering I own 78 shares or so. I was expected to receive about $45 anyways. I didn't know that they actually deducted the tax from that, so that's pretty good. 45 on the nose is what I received. Now, one thing I do want to say is before we kind of look, I do think TSLY might actually have a pretty good month next month. But before I get into that, actually, you know what? I forgot what I was going to say here. So what we're going to do here, oh no, I remember now. One thing about TSLY that I do want to mention before going forward is that, as you can see here, going back to its max history and even Tesla, if I'm going to zoom out a little bit here, I'll go to a year on that. One thing is that TSLY might be a little bit too strong. And the thing that I'm saying for this, or sorry, Tesla might be a little bit too strong because TSLY has not yet fully recovered from this downside from Tesla. So if you guys aren't aware, TSLY, I've been told by many subscribers and also the fund manager at Yieldmax, he told me that they actually write cover calls on the weekly for TSLY. And so basically they're writing weekly cover calls on Tesla, synthetic cover calls that is. But the thing is, when Tesla has a really big downside like we've seen here, going back to July 19th to roughly August 19th, this point right here, July 19th, August 19th, you could see that TSLY actually or TSLA actually went down about 33%. And just to put that in, the high here for Tesla was about $291 and about $215 at the low. So we're going to do 291 divided by 215, and you can see here that they had a massive drop of about 35%. TSLY definitely felt this drop, and TSLY, like all the Yieldmax funds, what they do is they don't necessarily capture all of the upside, but what they will do is capture all of the downside. And TSLY definitely got the bad end of this stick, as you can see, going down pretty much 35 to 40% right here in this move here. But as you can see, it is not yet recovered, and that's just due to the fact that they're paying some premium, so they're not going to fully recover in the share price. But Tesla has actually recovered pretty much up to 20%, and TSLY here is pretty much barely recovered, maybe 10 to 15% if even. I do understand that they are paying that dividend, but that dividend does come out of the share price. So I'm wondering if Tesla is a little bit too volatile of a stock to be in, and this is where I'm kind of questioning TSLY a little bit. I do like TSLY, obviously. I like TSLY. It paid me a $45 dividend, but the thing is, it might be a little bit too volatile, and in the future, if Tesla does have these pretty massive downsides like we've seen here, it could really negatively affect TSLY in the long run. Now, I'm just saying this as a little precautionary measure. If you guys are invested in TSLY, something to look out for, because Tesla does have these pretty big swings. We can do with these upswings. These upswings will drive TSLY, as you've seen here, just like it did in the past. But the downswings are where we really have to be careful. Maybe even if we think a downside is approaching, we can minimize or reduce our TSLY position so that we can better profit from this. So with that being said, where do I think Tesla is actually headed over the next little while? To do this, I really should have consulted my friend who is also like a day trader, but we're just going to go off of kind of like our own intuition here. As you can see, Tesla's kind of approaching a previous high here. A bit of resistance at this 274 point, and there's also some resistance at this 290 point. Now, Tesla's actually hit this 274 point, had a little bit of a rejection, might go back down to this 241 point, but currently it's above the MACD, so showing a little bit of a bullish play, but it is in the red, so it's definitely 50-50 on where Tesla's going to go from here. But as you can see, over the past even month or so, Tesla's had like a pretty sizable run up here, going from about $231 all the way up to $270, which is actually what we want to see. And for Yieldmax, for example, even from this point right here, we can see that they appreciated about 10% or so. And so for TSLY, this is actually exactly what we want to see. TSLY is going to capture part of this upside. As you can see, it's been very flat, but might capture part of this upside just due to the dividend there. And they're going to pay that premium. So next month might actually be a pretty good premium for TSLY. I do think it's going to be bigger than this dividend, as long as Tesla doesn't completely crash and go back down to this 240 level or below that. Then we should have a pretty good dividend for next month. So with that being said, another thing I do want to show you guys is when Tesla's next Ex-Dividend is going to be. So I can't necessarily highlight here, but it's going to be on the 10th here, and it's going to be, so what do we got here? October 5th. Their Ex-Dividend date will be October 6th, and their payment date will be October 16th. And one kind of funny thing to look here when I was looking for the Yieldmax distribution schedule is how many videos we have up here. This one looks very familiar. How I plan to buy TSLY, the stock decay, estimating for new dividends. These are all our videos popping up on the Yieldmax Ex-Dividend page, which is super cool. I think we are a Yieldmax page. We cover them quite a bit, so that does make sense. But I just thought that was very cool, so I wanted to show that out there and let you guys know that you guys are definitely a part of that if you've seen our videos and everything like that. So with that being said, that was just how much I received from my TSLY dividends, about $45 American. Where I think TSLY and Tesla are going to be going over the next month, I think the dividend is going to be a bit higher than it was previously, so that is awesome. And why I also might look to buy some funds outside of TSLY in the Yieldmax option income strategy ETFs, just due to the fact that Tesla might be a little bit too volatile, or when Tesla's going into a downtrend, I might look to trim my position a bit. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys do stick around by subscribing, and leave me any kind of comments, anything like that. I'll be sure to get back to you, doing my best to respond to them, as you can tell. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope you guys stick around, and I will see you guys in the next video. Just gained 1 subscriber. Subscribe right now. See you later.